Good morning, everyone. It is September 10th, Thursday, the 21st of Elul. We are now really in full swing with preparation for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. I actually just finished, with the help every year, one of my great favorite rituals with Ben Shaul to switch over the Torah covers to the holy whites. And the shul is being put together, painted, fixed, tents going up. Lots of stuff is happening as we prepare for this momentous and unusual Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur ahead of us. We'll have Slichas on Motzai Shabbos. By the way, it will be streamed via Zoom as well as live here in Shul. And I hope everybody enjoyed I thought it was a very productive town hall meeting last night. There is a recording of it, which will be sent out as well. And there are still also some honors that are available, certain aliyahs. Since we have two services taking place, we have twice as many aliyahs for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. So if you would like to bid for an aliyah, please contact Andy Hutter. Again, we'll send out that information as well. Today, our sponsor for the Dvar Torah and for the video, Alicia and Alan Pines. Alan is observing Yahrtzeit today for his father, Hillel ben Moshe Hakohein, and the Shem should have an aliyah. And you'll see attached to the email there is a picture of his tombstone, and which is something that, you know, as a Cohen family, you don't get to see all that often. And the family describes to me, it says, if you read the top of it, it says, Ish Tam v'Yashar. That's someone who was Tam v'Yashar. Tam is, you might say, it's like Yaakov Ish Tam Ohalim, but to me that means someone who is complete, someone who has simple faith. Yashar is straight. And I know that as a Holocaust survivor and someone who took care of his family. He had siblings that were far younger than he was, but he was the one that looked after his whole family. And he had he hosted all of the yontifs, and when any relative needed something, he was the one to call. And I know that family was everything to him. And my thought is obviously I didn't know him because he has, there are three grandsons named after him, one of whom, of course, is Elliot Pines, and the Torah that we read, the Green Sefer Torah, which was given for Elliot's bar mitzvah, which bears his name, and also there are two Eli Pinewskis and also an Eli Gelberg. So a number of grandchildren that are great-grandchildren that are named after him. So you have grandson, great-grandsons. I didn't know him, but I know his family quite well. And the history between the Pines family and the Klibanoff family is one that's far longer than the 7 years that we've been here in Yahrtzeit. So I'll just give you a brief recounting. Is that when I was a rabbi in Parsippany, New Jersey, and then this is around the time when Yahrtzeit began, when it was founded. And Brian Stoller's father, should live and be well, was actually a member of my shul there, and that's why I got to know some of the people here and some connections there. But then when I was invited to go try out for the position in Atlantic Beach, I met someone there from New Jersey, from Livingston, New Jersey, who happened to be going to Atlantic Beach to his good friend Solondale Goldberg every single Shavuos, and that was, of course, Alicia and Alan Pines. And then every year on Shavuos, we would see one another until finally they settled in Atlantic Beach in the summers, and the connection between our families grew and grew. I had the zechus, the privilege, to attend all of the children's weddings, to officiate at one of the weddings, and of course to see the birth of all of Kanai all of their grandchildren. And I've gotten to know the rest of the family, is Uncle Seymour and Carol and Bubby Hilda and all of the relatives. And I can tell you this, is that anybody who knows Alan for 2 seconds, you can see exactly where he gets his dedication from. It's from his father and from his mother, Tibado. His appreciation not only of tradition but of kahuna, and his quiet way that he goes about serving the community and taking care of everyone's needs, and particularly the needs of his family, is something that is a bit of legacy. And the Dvar Torah, again, I'm going to share with you from my new favorite book, which I shared yesterday. Again, this, Judaism, Life-Changing Ideas. And this is a story that Rabbi Sachs tells about someone named Ernest Onions. I hope I pronounced that name right. He's a farmer in East Anglia, and his main business was a supplier of pig's will. Okay, I don't know where that is. I don't know what that is, but that's irrelevant. So he was eccentric, and he had a hobby that he would collect paintings. He used to go around to local auctions whenever a painting came on sale, especially if it was old, he would make a bid for it. He collected eventually more than 500 canvases. There were too many of them to hang, So in Suffolk, so he just piled them up. He kept them in his chicken sheds. His children did not share his passion. They knew he was odd. He used to dress scruffily. And afraid of being burgled, he rigged up his own homemade alarm system using klaxons powered by old car batteries, and he always slept with a loaded shotgun under his bed. When he died, his children asked Sotheby's, the London auction house, to sell the paintings. So before any major sale of artworks, they publish a catalog so that the buyers can see exactly what's going to be offered. So there's a great art expert named Sir Dennis Mahan, who died in 2011, who was looking through the catalog one day when his eye caught one painting in particular. This small postage stamp-sized photograph picture in the catalog showed a rabble of rampaging people setting fire to a large building and making off with loot. Onions had bought it at a country house sale in the 1940s for £12. The catalog listed the painting as the Sack of Carthage, painted by a relatively little-known artist of the 17th century, Pietro Testa. It's estimated that it would fetch £15,000. So he paid £12, going to fetch £15,000. Again, I don't know anything about this. You have to ask Mark Fish, and he'll shed some light on this for us, but I don't know. So Mahon was struck by one incongruous detail. One of the looters was making off with a 7-branched candelabrum. What, Mahon wondered, was Menorah doing in Carthage? Clearly, the painting was not depicting that event. Instead, it was a portrait of the destruction of the Second Temple by the Romans. But if he was looking at was not the sack of Carthage, then the artist was probably not Pietro Testa. So he remembered this dealer that the great 17th century artist Nicolas Poussin had painted 2 portraits of the destruction of the Second Temple. One was hanging in the Art Museum in Vienna. The other, painted in 1626 for Cardinal Barberini, had disappeared from public view sometime in the 18th century. No one knew what happened to it. With a shock, Mahon realized that he was looking at the missing Poussin. At the auction, he bid for the picture. When a figure of the eminence of Sir Dennis bid for a painting, the other potential buyers knew they must know something they did not. So they also put in bids. Eventually, Sir Dennis bought the painting for £155,000. That was paid £15 or £12, £155,000. A few years later, he sold it for its true worth, £4.5 million, to Lord Rothschild, who donated it to the Israel Museum in Jerusalem, where it hangs today in memory of Sir Isaiah Berlin. So Rabbi Sachs goes on to discuss his personal connection to the story, and he's speaking, this is actually found in Parshas Pinchas, who gets the Kohanim, the lifetime contract to be Kohanim because of their zeal, but he's doing it in reference to the daughters of Tzlafchad. The daughters of Tzlafchad and the praise for them. And he compares and contrasts the love that the daughters of Tzlafchad had for the land of Israel because they wanted to have their inheritance, even though there were no males to inherit. And he contrasts that with the attitude of the spies of the Meraglim, who had such disdain for the land of Israel. And listen to what he says here. I cannot help but think that in some strange way the stories of the daughters of Tzlafchad and the auction of the missing Poussin illustrate the state of Jewish identity today. For many of my contemporaries, Judaism was like the story of Ernest Ornians, his penchant for paintings. Judaism was something their parents had, but not something that was meaningful to them. Like Ornian's children, they were willing to let go of it, unaware that its legacy was of immense value. When we don't fully appreciate the value of something, we can lose a treasure without ever knowing it is a treasure. Judaism, of course, is not a painting. It's an identity. And you can't sell an identity, but you can lose it. And many Jews are losing theirs. Our ancestors have given us the gift of the past. We owe them the gift of a future faithful to that past. At least we should not relinquish it simply because we don't know how valuable it is. A life-changing idea here is simple yet profound. If we truly wish to hand on our legacy to our children, we must teach them to love it. The most important element of any education is not learning facts or skills, but learning what to love. What we love, we inherit. What we fail to love, we lose. If ever I could think of a message to encapsulate the Pines family, and now I know where it comes from, Ish Tam V'Yashar, Hillel Moshe Hakohein. If ever I know about what it means to show your family what it is that you love, what you're passionate about. If I've seen every year the gatherings around Parshas Kisavo for the Yahrtzeit, how the entire family gets together and they recollect and they share and they daven and they sing and they tell Divrei Torah. If ever I see the passion for the kahuna, the passion for their God-given right to bless us, I could see exactly where that comes from. Because like Hillel and Moshe Hakohein, they show the next generations what it is that they love. And we are the beneficiaries of that. We are fortunate because of what they love and show us what they love. We can live better Jewish lives as a result. So today on the Yahrtzeit, Hillel and Moshe Hakohein, and the Neshama should have an aliyah. We should all be zocha to learn this lesson, especially now as we enter the new year, to find what it is that we love and to show the people that we love what we love. Let's not treat Judaism as a relic. Let's not treat tradition as something that's tossed away because it's not in style or it doesn't fit in with our lifestyle. It has to be something that's embraced and something that we hold dearly to us like the most precious possession that it is. So again, I wish everybody a ksiva v'chasima tova. Again, the neshama should have an aliyah. And thank you for Alan, Alicia, and your entire family. And thank you for everything that you do for Yahrtzeit, for the Jewish community, and most of it, which people don't even realize that you do. So again, your father's neshama should have an aliyah, and we'll celebrate simchas, and we will take to heart, we'll learn to love more and to share with our loved ones exactly our passions and what we love. Have a good day.